is the Riot.
A podcast today.
Nikki's back.
Hey.
Yeah.
My bad. That's why for the last 2 days there was no podcast.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I don't mind saying my mom broke her leg. And so I was with my mom.
See, I didn't tell anybody
I don't mind
why you were gone. I didn't know if that was too personal or not.
It's not, but I don't know why. But the last couple of years, if we take a day off or if one of us are gone or the other, you guys immediately jump to the worst. What's the word? Situations possible? Like you panic.
I said multiple times on the show yesterday, I was like, guys, Nikki's fine. She'll be back. It's fine.
I mean, it's lovely of you guys, but it's so sad because the messages you guys send, like, is everything okay? It's like, it's totally fine. Everything's good. And
thanks for loving us, though. That's great.
It's so sweet. But then the pressure on the other side, you feel bad. But yeah, my mom had surgery, so I was with her. So
yeah, I didn't want to mention it because that's like, it's not that big of a deal, but it's personal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's your mom's news to share.
It was weird because a couple of the doctors or the nurses at the hospital, they figure out who you are. And at first they're like, what's wrong with you? And you're like, no, it's my mom. And they're like, okay, let's fix it.
It's fine.
It's very, very sweet. But yes,
I'm in on Monday.
Exactly. It's like, is that why you weren't in? But yeah, I'm perfectly fine. But she's been hurt, so that's why I've been gone.
Okay. So, and I'll tell you again. We're going to take some time off in a couple weeks. So just
Obi's going on vacation.
Everybody just relax. This is the way it's going to go.
We're going to have to come up with a plan. So each day we still give him a little something.
Something. I don't know what.
That way no one panics.
All right. So let's see. What are we doing? Today in the podcast, we talk about flesh-eating bacteria, a master's degree in marijuana, K-Max, foreign foods, turtle smuggling, expensive homes for sale.
That one has a sad ending on the turtle smuggling.
I'll tell you, turtle smuggling goes dark.
It does,
guys.
but focus on the beginning, humorous part in the front, okay?
Self-driving cars, Bluray players. Oh, and you know what?
Including a prayer that will spark joy in your day-to-day.
I feel like not everybody appreciated like that part of the show.
You're gonna have to tell us that you did, okay?
I don't know if everyone was getting it.
Do you think that they understood? I mean, it wasn't sarcastic or anything, but it's just a joke.
I don't know what it was.
It was funny.
All I can say is this: is that I have a relationship with God, and God meets me where I am. That's all I know to tell you.
There it is.
I am His nutball creation, and sometimes I think things are funny that shouldn't be. And every once in a while, he'll tap me on the shoulder and be like, that's enough. But most of the time, he's just like, whatever.
You're good.
Whatever.
Well, may that prayer speak to any packages you're sending out anywhere.
I want that thing to happen. I want it to happen.
So that is in there as well. Don't forget, you can always message us or say hello. RadioU Riot on Facebook. Most people just message us there. If you email us, it's riot@radiou.com. You can always text us, but depending on when you're listening to the podcast, we might not be in the studio. And it's not like we're going to text you back at 5 a.m. So if we don't get back with you, it just means that it was a wrong time when we got in to read it. But you can text us anytime, 877-2-RADIO-U, and then put your name in it so we might include you in the show.
Let's see. The other thing, it's not on the podcast, but hey, if you know what this is, I'm not going to explain it. Steam sale started yesterday. I'd love to get some hot tips.
You didn't put your Steam sale talk in there?
No, I didn't. It's not in here. So I ended up buying Moss, which is a VR game. But if anybody's got any games at all that you're like, man, Obadiah, you should check this out, feel free to send those in because I would love to hear it. So enjoy the podcast. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I got a great quote for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Instead, officials say a day of summer fun could kill you.
Is this one of those warning stories? You should be aware this summer. You don't want that, do you?
I love news coverage so much.
Well, they got to make you worried somehow.
One of these days, I just got to go off and do local news. That's what I would love to do. The only problem is I'd be putting together these news packages that to me are ironic and funny, but everybody else would be like, man, he's really doing it.
They don't get it.
He's getting it.
He's got his finger on the pulse of the local community.
Officials say a day of summer fun could kill you.
More at 10.
And either more at 10 or then immediately cut away to, we've about had 20 people that are dying having fun this summer. So,
you mean your package that you went together and put out?
Yeah. I'm cutting this whole thing together. No problem. So here's what it is. In Virginia, they have had this year, let's see, how many cases? I don't have a number for this year yet, but flesh-eating bacteria is becoming a big problem in Virginia. They say that it thrives in salt water.
Yeah.
You know, the beach.
Sure.
And brackish water. That's where salt water meets fresh water.
It's the in-between.
Mm-hmm. And so they had 41 cases of this in 2016. Last year, there were 87 cases of it in Virginia. They say this year they're on track for another record.
You do not want that. But I don't think there's anything you can really do.
Okay. In my news package, I want to cut to that.
Oh, you want that?
It may kill you. You don't want that.
You don't. But what do they expect you to do? There's not really much. It's usually if you have some sort of open sore on your body.
That's exactly what they say. If you have any kind of open sore on your body, any kind of a cut, a scrape, and you're like, but it has a scab on it.
Doesn't matter. You're not supposed to.
Basically, if you've got anything on you that would remotely be a weakened spot, they're saying don't go in the water. Which
in the summertime is what you want to do.
Yeah, but don't. They also say that if you're any kind of immunocompromised, and if you are, you pretty much know what that means. So, like, if you're sick or if you have medication that gives you a weaker immune system or something,
you're also not supposed to
stay out of the water.
Well, in some of those areas, they're not meaning like, I guess I shouldn't say. It's just some of the back smaller water areas that don't have a chance to breathe. Things like that. Don't go in those. Your local watering hole, or if you're like the creek over there, don't go.
You might be better off going to the pool, and you're like, I don't want that chlorine.
It's killing the bad stuff, though, right?
Yeah, it's a trade-off. It really is. But be careful out there, guys, because a day of summer fun could kill you.
Maybe the riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Man, I don't know how this happened. I don't. But it's weird. I've got what I feel like are back-to-back things that are just a little too girly for me, quite frankly. All right?
Well, let's hear it, though.
Okay, today's Wednesday. So Monday night, I ended up, by not necessarily any fault of my own, seeing Pride and Prejudice, the 2004...
Keira Knightley one?
It's fantastic.
Isn't it? Have you never seen it?
Never seen it.
It's got the one guy who's in all your...
MI5.
Your other stuff that you like, the McFadden guy or whatever.
Sure he is. I don't know his name. He's that British guy.
It's good. It's not like the best one. People always, lean back to the other. But
well, I'm not interested in... I'll tell you what I liked about it. Very cinematic.
Sure.
Incredibly well shot.
The music, it's sweeping.
It's very good. Like, I just thought to myself, I'm not really that interested in the subject matter, but this is a well-crafted
let's talk
film.
More. I love this subject.
I really liked it. And then I woke up this morning and Gmail says, and I quote, Obadiah, you've got 16 new pins waiting for you.
From Pinterest.
I know what it is.
Did you ever create a Pinterest page, board?
Not that I can think of.
An account?
Do I strike you as a Pinterest kind of person?
And people said that back then, but it was like, will this become like a social media thing? And so some people just signed up.
I think what happened, I'm not sure, but I think my dad is on Pinterest.
Yeah. Because
he loves all these internet jokey stuff.
And there's that side of Pinterest.
Yeah, and so it's apparently a great place for that. And I think what happened is he sent me one, which he does. And I think instead of clicking one thing, I clicked another. And
Did you
all of a sudden,
accidentally create an account?
Well, I think it's one of those things where it was sign in with Gmail, and I think that might be what happened.
Oh.
But between the Pride and Prejudice and the Pinterest,
it sounds like a perfect moment.
I feel like the internet doesn't know me anymore, and I've got to figure out a way to get back and say, "Hey, no, I didn't mean it. I didn't want to set up a Pinterest account." Okay,
you just accidentally did that years ago. Just didn't know.
I guess, but now they're emailing me. They're like, "Hey, What are you, look at these pens you missed. What are you doing? What have you been up to?
Well, normally I'm not always into all the things that you have discussions about, but I am 100. Pinterest, it's fine, but the Pride and Prejudice, we're 100% behind that.
Hey, I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I know this is movies, but like everybody's so pretty. It was just like
it's the lighting.
I mean,
if we had that lighting here and the background, the scenery, you'd look great.
I mean, like at the end, they get together at the end. He's walking across the field and his coat is billowing. and I'm just like, are you for real right now?
How do you do that?
Like, nobody looks that good. Nobody does.
In the movies, they do.
But they do.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
And we don't know. Maybe back then they did.
I don't think they did. And I mean, how many times is Keira Knightley going to stare at me with those eyes? And you're just like, wow. I don't know. Movies are too pretty. I can't. I just can't. I got to pen that.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I feel like this is kind of a weird one. Who wants to go back and get their master's degree? It sounds like a great idea, but I'm just going to let you know. You should see if it's going to pay, because if not, I still just remember them telling me very clearly. I was looking at a master's program, and they're like, yeah, and due to new regulations, you can borrow up to $100,000 a year. And I just about fell out of my chair. I was like, excuse me? Because it sounds like you may have just encouraged me to borrow $100,000 a year.
As much as possible in order to do that.
Are you out of your mind? Like, do you know you go get a degree, and then when you get your degree, they're like, yeah, we want to hire you for as little as possible. You're like, hey, where's the person that was trying to loan me all that money? Can we get them back in here?
It's like when you try to sign up with a company and you get the nice older lady and she's helpful, and then when you want to cancel your account or it's time to pay up, you get nothing.
You get The Rock, but mean. Vin Diesel.
You get the nasty person who won't cancel your account even though there should be.
Sitting there talking to you about family. This is family.
And still trying to bug you to add a home phone. Things like that, you know?
So the University of Maryland has become the first in the United States to offer a master's in medical marijuana. So what they're going to do is they're going to help you understand the science behind the cultivation of marijuana and then also the policies, like legal policies.
So basically they're explaining so then you can grow it and find out if you're doing it legally or not?
I mean, Nikki, I feel like that's a very pedestrian take.
But is that it? Is that the basic take of it?
Kind of, yeah.
Not how to smoke it, but just more how to make money off of it?
Yeah, now you don't take this class in person. It's more of an online class.
Because it's based out of a state where you can't.
Set your own schedule. There will be an in-person symposium every semester. So, and in a lot of ways, this is for people that are already in the industry.
Got ya.
But I mean, it doesn't mean that you couldn't get one yourself and open your own.
Yeah,
thing.
go back home and tell your parents what you finally completed a degree in. I'm sure they're going to be so excited. Or maybe they will, Maybe they will.
Hey, Nikki, that's a growth area. Like there's...
It literally is.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's an industry that's booming across this great nation.
I know. We've read a lot and seen a lot.
Time to get in on the ground floor. Mm-hmm.
I want to be in the next drug. The one where marijuana, you go back a few years and it's nothing like it is now. So I'm assuming there'll be another drug that's super bad now, but will grow into. So you need to get in on that floor.
You know what, Nikki? They would call that the slippery slope argument.
Yes, but if you're there on the slope right on time, then you're the one who'll make all the money.
He's like, yeah, exactly. So how do we get a little further down the slope?
So you need to be able to tell what the slope will lead to.
Yeah. So are you saying that marijuana is a gateway drug?
No, I am not.
You know what? You're just repeating what your DARE officer told you. That's all you're doing.
Is that it?
You're not thinking for yourself.
Well, yeah.
Which is another argument that you'll learn in your Masters of Marijuana.
Which you're taking online.
With a symposium at the end of the semester.
Gotcha, okay.
So that means you'll have to come out to Maryland for something.
Sure.
Yeah. So we wish you all the best of luck in pursuing your master's degree.
You get that, and you get like another degree in video games. And again, your parents are super ready.
Hey, man, I'll just tell
Actually,
you.
you'll probably make all this money when you come out. That's the only way to go.
I don't know. Like, I just know that there's part of me that, like, there's all this talk about the student debt cancellation. I was like, man, I need to get some more loans. Like, while we're at it, like, I'm just going to load up
ahead
now.
of time,
yeah. And then, like, if it's going to be canceled that way, at least, like, I was in on it. You know what I'm saying?
The Riot is to your ears what all those energy drinks are to your liver.
For the love of God, please stop. I can only process so much.
The Riot, Radio U.
So, Nikki,
Yeah?
I don't know what this is.
Oh, did we get a bag? Oh, that is from, let me see it's from my mom.
Okay, I didn't know if I was supposed to tell you that. She said it's for you and Nikki, but it's not.
It's not food. Yeah,
Did she already tell you what it is?
No, but she was very adamant on the fact that we realized it was not food.
Oh,
but
they're coffee cakes. Or coffee cups. It just says eat cake for breakfast.
Like when you're like, it's coffee cake. Of course it is.
No,
they're tumblers.
They're
mugs.
matching tumblers.
Yay! She was so excited when she found it.
I actually do. Oh my gosh, that slogan is
Eat
perfect
cake for breakfast.
Us. Eat cake for breakfast.
Oh, yay!
So thank you, Nikki's mom. It did not occur to me that it would be a coffee cup until I went to open it.
She was excited that she found us something that wasn't food, but still kind of food related.
Yeah, she was like, open this on the air, but don't. It's not food. It's not
Aw,
food.
Thanks, Mom.
Eat cake for breakfast. Gosh, that sounds good. Does anybody know where I could get a cake right now?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
do we have any? Did we eat all the donuts from the other day?
If-
Of course we did, of course. But I just thought maybe someone put one in the fridge.
Are you crazy? Are you? Did your time off make you soft in the head?
No, I just thought maybe we had one left.
No.
A half of one?
No.
Someone always just eats half and then they leave the other.
I saved the box for you.
Well, that's also what happens too.
Yeah.
And then you're so excited you open it up and there's nothing in there.
It's a shame.
Well.
Hey, speaking of opening something and nothing's in there, yesterday I had a wonderful conversation with Wolves at the Gate on Twitter.
You did?
I did.
They're getting ready for their new album.
They are, but here's what happened. Blindside announced the fact that they're putting out a new single July 1st.
People might not remember, but Blindside, it's been a few years. They're a band we played from Sweden.
If they listened to the show yesterday,
did you play a lot?
They heard Blindside.
You did that.
I did. I played
That's
the
great.
You know, Nikki, I promoted the Throwback Channel.
Sure.
Talked about
there was
this.
a reason for it, of course.
A very good reason,
That's
not just that I
fun.
wanted to hear it.
Nope, not
and
at all.
And so they're putting out a new song on July 1st, which is Monday, and I retweeted it, and Wolves at the Gate tweeted back that they're excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tweeted back that I'd be really excited if they'd finally make a new Christmas song.
Oh, are
and
they?
Then Nick got back to me. He's the lead singer, and he said that I was being antsy. And then I tweeted back at him an Archer gif about this is how we get ants. And so that's where
ended?
That's where the conversation is right now.
Does that count as a Twitter war?
Oh, no, that's a conversation.
Okay, no, Twitter wars are better because then you get more press about it.
And then here's this guy right here. He's like, why are you asking for this in June? You have to ask in June. You make it in June. You release it in November. That's the way it works.
Do you not know anything about Christmas music? Actually, technically now it's usually in October they release it.
Yeah. So
Who is this person?
His name is Tom.
Tom, are you new to the Christmas song game?
So come on. But as Nikki said, Wolves at the Gate, new music from them. Like we're playing new music now, but then their album is out 2 weeks from now, I think. Something like that. It's happening. They're on tour. They're making it happen. And hopefully they'll have a Christmas song for me. I ask them every year.
But stop being antsy about it.
Listen, this is how you get ants. You don't release Christmas music.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You're missing out on a lot. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff if you don't follow Nikki and I on Twitter. Because, I'm just retweeting only the best stuff.
And I'm happy to retweet anything RadioU sends out.
So, there's a guy who, to you, you may or may not be familiar with renowned artist Kevin Max. I don't follow him on Twitter, but a friend of mine retweeted something he said, and I was like, I should retweet that.
What type of artist is he?
Kevin Max is a musician.
That Kevin. Okay, I'm sitting here like,
is she kidding?
I thought you meant like, is he a graphic novelist or like, what is he doing?
Nikki, he was part of a band called DC Talk.
Now I understand.
He's also going to be touring with another band this summer with Dan Hazeltine from Jars of Clay.
Listen, it's at first I just haven't heard the name in a while, so I just jumped and I thought it was something else.
You might be more familiar with his K-Max.
No, that's still, I would have been like, is that from Marvel?
You're like, K-Max? Is that, do you get that at the gas station?
What's that for? But no, okay, I know who you're talking about.
Okay, here's what he said that I think is so good that I'm spreading it around. He said, the difference in having conversations in person to having them online is night and day. Before blurting out your hasty armchair feelings and opinions, think to yourself, would I say it this way to another human being in person, eye to eye?
That's good to say.
Right there. I'll tell you this right there. If you just took that and that was your day today and you thought to yourself, I'm not going to say anything online or on the phone or on the anything that I would not say if I was not sitting directly across from someone and I had to look them in the eye in order to say it.
That would stop a lot of people. For sure.
That would be amazing. Now, admittedly, some of us are so mean, we would say that in person. I would.
It wouldn't change anything at all. It might make you pause, but you'd still say it.
I do know that for a whole bunch of us, it would absolutely change the way that we would interact with people. I know that it would because, man, some of the stuff that I'm seeing online, you're like, you would never say that to my face.
At least you hope not.
I don't think they would because I even just recently, Nikki, I made a joke about something and the
online audience didn't agree with you guys.
Well, the way people began going at each other, I mean, there was no pause, no wait. It immediately jumped to, don't you judge me! And then somebody else is like, blah, 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 and then blah. And it was just like, we'll just delete the post.
Okay. So it wasn't even at you necessarily, but everybody just starts going after each other.
It was just one of those things where you're like, guys, we're supposed to just be laughing. It was just supposed to be like, but that was not the way that it...
You're laughing as you have to delete it.
Yeah. So I'm going to read this to you again. You ready? Before blurting out your hasty armchair feelings and opinions, think to yourself, would I say it this way to another human being in person? And I also think it's worth noting you said saying it this way. It may be that, you could have a difference of opinion with someone, but maybe you don't say it
the right way.
Maybe you say it a little nicer. Or, and a lot of times, this is something I think about a lot is this worth me calling them to tell them how I feel about it? And if the answer is no, a lot of times I just...
Don't put it in there.
I just don't even bother.
Don't put it out there.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Lots of ways to talk to The Riot. You can pretty much find them all at riot.radiou.com, or you can text or call 8772-RADIO-U. Nikki, I'd like you to meet Jenny. Jenny, this is Nikki.
Hi, Jenny. Is she texting in, or is it a story about her? Or?
She messaged us last night on the Facebook.
Nice, which is Radio U Riot.
And here's what she says. Hi, just moved to Seoul.
Jenny. Are you in South Korea, Jenny?
She now lives in South Korea.
Oh, may I live vicariously through you?
Just moved to Seoul and have access to all
the good stuff.
The Kit Kat flavors.
Yay! Woo!
As well as tons of other random snacks. Where could I send a food fight care package?
Doesn't that really just touch you? Just to that heart right there?
I am touched.
We also have another listener who's going to Japan, going to Tokyo for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
So he's supposedly sending some stuff back too. I was like, yes, that's what we need.
Nikki, what you should do, and I'm not going to touch this message. It's in our inbox. I'll leave it for you. But you should send her some of the flavors you've already had or some that you want. So she's got an idea.
Yeah, what we...
Like, we don't need the green tea Kit Kat. That's pretty easy to get.
It's kind of hard. Obi picked one year for Christmas, the best Christmas gift ever. It was an assorted set of Kit Kats from Japan. And there were a lot of flavors in that. So basically, I tell people to look for new flavors because then that's usually something we haven't tried.
Well,
But you don't need to go back and be like, oh, this plum pudding looks great. I'm sure we've had it. Because there were plum-flavored Kit Kats in that assortment.
Well, just something to think about. You might message her a couple of either your favorites or ones that you were like, no.
No, thank you.
Not that one.
And it's Jenny?
Yes.
Jenny, oh, that's so cool.
She's in Seoul right now.
Yay, I'm glad you had a chance. Did she move there? Or
she says she's just moved there.
Well, congratulations.
So she's not on vacation. Apparently she lives there. Or for her, she's a vagabond and she just wanders.
Traveling the world.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, anytime you guys see something that you think we might want to try for a Riot food fight, you don't have to get them for us. That's so sweet when you do. But if you just send us a picture or a link or information about it, we can always look into it. RadioU Riot on Facebook. A lot of people send it that way.
Yeah, or feel free to just buy and send it too. It's fine.
You don't have to feel that way ever. But it does make it easier.
But if you do, that's fine if you do.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Now, Nikki and I are always on the lookout for a way to make some extra money, but it looks like I don't feel like this is good enough. People in Malaysian authorities, they've arrested 4 Indians, that would be from India, who had 14 kilograms of drugs and over 5,000 turtles in their luggage. 5,255 turtles.
Now, we're going to focus on that more than the drugs, and the drugs are just as bad.
The drugs are bad, blah, whatever.
But I'm always fascinated when people try to smuggle, like, were they alive, or is it just their shells for, like, medicine or something?
Well, it's a mix, Nikki. They say that these baby turtles, they're kept in small baggage in their luggage, and they're well known for either A, eating, or B, pets.
Really?
Yeah,
People
both.
are paying for the turtles?
Yeah, okay, but here's the part that gets me. Okay, you're smuggling 5,000 turtles, and they said that this is about $12,000 worth of turtles.
That's not enough money for the amount of turtles that you're bringing in.
You're smuggling, for crying out loud. If you're gonna smuggle, you might as well smuggle something with a bigger margin.
What was the thing for
$2? Come on!
Was it last week we read about the guy who was smuggling, was it the parakeets or
yes, the birds.
The singing special type of birds. Because
I don't remember what kind, but yes.
In the Bronx, they have this big fight club where instead of fighting, the birds have, no joke, a sing-off.
Yeah, they do.
And the bird that comes up with the best song ends up winning out of this group. And so they smuggled like $5,000 worth of these birds, and they got caught.
Yeah.
That's a true thing.
5,000 turtles? Even if they're little, like...
I don't know, maybe.
How are you gonna...
I'm sure they stack or something. I'm sure there's something.
They must be.
Oh.
So
I would love to is there a show like that on TV still where it's like customs patrol?
You know what?
And then they show us all the weird things that come through the luggage.
I'm sure that show exists somewhere, even if it's just on YouTube.
Yeah. Where is that show? Anybody watch anything like that?
Part of the reason it's illegal to smuggle them like that is because when they're young, they are prime candidates, whatever, for carrying salmonella.
And plus, too, you're bringing in an item, an animal that's not maybe local to the area where you're going to, and it can wreak havoc on the system there.
Holy freaking crap!
What'd you read?
Okay, the guys are 30. They're believed to be drug mules, so basically they don't even really know what they're carrying.
Mules.
They're just carrying them.
Turtles. They're drug
turtles. They're going to be charged, and if they're convicted in Malaysia...
Is it the death penalty?
It's the death penalty!
Yeah.
I thought you go to like a resort where you get...
No, they have more serious results with that.
The death penalty. Death.
Yes.
You know, it's funny, like over here we're mad when like, you know, your mom like takes your iPhone. In Malaysia, they're just like, you're dead. What? Yeah, I can't live there.
All right.
I hear it's really clean, though. But again, it's because everyone's terrified of littering.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's the details on that story.
Not enough. I mean, if I'm going to smuggle turtles, they got to be worth at least 10 or 15
No,
apiece.
but they're only telling you that part. I'm sure the drugs had a pretty good amount of money.
Yeah, but like that's so like how much luggage do you need for fun? I just have a lot of questions and we're not going to answer them.
You're never going to get any of those answers.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on Radio U.
You know what? I had this problem last summer where we hit basically around the solstice, and I think it's like the reverse of the seasonal affective disorder, like depression stuff. Now I can't sleep.
Well, you're getting too much sunshine.
It's almost like I'm getting too much.
Yeah,
and
that always happens.
I'm real nervous, and which I know sounds
antsy.
Yes, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I really think that it's just from the fact that it's so daylight all the time that my brain is just like, I can't. What I need is a temperate zone.
Well, sometimes during the winter when you don't get enough, you use your light box. You know, it's a light that you turn on and he sets it in front of him. Well, should we like blindfold you or something during the summer season, or what do you need?
Well, I can't do it in the morning because I'm barely making it in the morning.
Well, what else can we do? I mean, we could close the blinds. We are letting the sunshine in.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, I don't think that's the answer. I need to shut the blinds like at night so that I can go to sleep.
Earlier and earlier.
Because my bedtime is creeping later and later and later. I'm not getting enough sleep. And the other thing, I've started skipping morning workouts and working out in the afternoon. I got to go back to mornings.
That also makes you more amped up later in the day, and so you just don't rest as well.
Oh, man. It's not good, Nikki. It's not good, but like I'm seriously, like I'm ready. I'm in this weird spot where I'm exhausted, but I'm also ready to rip your head off.
It's the scary time.
But it's fine.
He's exhausted, but you're full of energy. Just a ball of energy.
In a bad way.
Yeah.
In a bad way.
Well, you need one of those decompression like chambers or the pods that you go sit in the water where it's all completely dark.
Oh, yeah.
It's down the road. You know, they have the place now. You sit in the shells.
There's a guy down the road that told me that he'll put you in his basement, and then
he's got a pool in there.
You won't see the sun for days.
It's not like that. It's an official one where, what are they, the floating?
It's a salt thing.
No.
It's salt, yeah, but it's salt water.
I don't know if it's salt water.
It is. That's part of what makes you float in it because of the, what do you call it? There's so much salt in it.
Won't it be sad if you get in there and you still don't float?
They're like, hey, Bob, we need to get some...
we need more salt in here.
We need some more salt in tub 2. Salt in tub 2. It's like, you know what? That's like that time I went to that event and like I was like, yeah. They're like, you want a t-shirt? And I was like, do you guys have a 2XL? And they're like, no. And then they made a huge deal about not having one. Hey, everybody, he needs a 2XL. Can we get a 2XL? Oh my gosh, we're out of 2XLs.
It's like,
shh. I'm like... I was like, you know what? Just give me the microphone. Fat guy needs a shirt. Fat guy, raise your hand, fat guy. Fat guy over here needs a shirt.
And he needs more salt for the tub thing.
And he can't float in the tub.
But maybe that would be good for you, so you can get that darkness for a little bit and get some of it out.
But what about my inner darkness, Nikki?
Well, it won't be touched at all by the outer darkness. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, you could go in the float thing.
Let's see. Ian says it's called a float tank.
Sure, you can float.
If you guys watched, how many people are a big fan of Ben Affleck's turn as Daredevil? You know, he has that sensory deprivation tank. That's what they call it. So you go in there and like you lose all track of it. Some people see visions. Like all of a sudden there's no light in there, but they'll start to see light.
That's what you need. And we'll close the blinds. That'll also help too.
I'm not closing. I need the sun in my face now.
You don't.
I don't need it later. I don't need it later.
But now is later, or later is now.
You know what, Nikki? Well, let's stop now.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So what's the perfect house, do you think?
Well, Nikki, you have expensive tastes.
I do.
How much was your purse? Don't tell them.
I like to spend money on certain things, and then I won't spend any money on the rest.
Right. So Nikki likes to spend a lot of money on everything except her RadioU shirts, which are free.
Yeah, that's my wardrobe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there is a property near L.A. called Chartwell.
Chartwell? Oh, it sounds so regal, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Well, wait until you see it. I'm sending you the link right now. When you see Chartwell, you'll know that it's for you.
Does it have, is it land or does it have, the stately estate on it. It is amazing.
It absolutely looks like a Regency era home.
Do you think you have to water the gardens then? Instead of just praying it rains.
Somebody does.
Someone does?
Yeah, if you're counting on the gardens getting watered in L.A., you're in the wrong place.
I know, but if you just wait, maybe you'll get something.
And this house looks like it causes the water shortage in Southern California.
It's the most expensive house on the market in the United States, even though they've just lowered the price.
Which is why we're talking about it, because I feel like they've just come into your price range. They are now only asking $195 million.
They went down $50 million. It was $245 million for its asking price when it went on the market in October.
Yeah.
That is a lot of money.
I've heard friends' parents going talking to their realtor, we're not knocking $5,000 off.
Yeah,
we're not
normally,
doing it.
or if they're really desperate, they're like, let's take $10,000 off or something, but not $50 million off the price.
$50 million.
If you told me this was $50 million on its own, even that's expensive.
Yeah, well, it just got knocked down. It started.
Beautiful, though.
Its initial list price was $350 million. So, that's interesting.
That was in August of 2017.
It was built in the 30s, and it was made famous as the set of the 1960s TV series, The Beverly Hillbillies.
And then it was owned by a Univision chairman who was a billionaire.
Okay.
And I think that person passed away, and then it was up on, for sale.
Well, and when you're a billionaire, you have to buy stuff. You got to put your money in stuff because actual money doesn't hold its value.
I know, but when you put your money into this, there's a small window of people who can still buy this from you.
Sure.
So I feel like if you're going to buy into real estate, even if you were a billionaire, I'd go a little lower.
No, but see, Nikki, you're not thinking about
unless you're trying to hide the money in something.
And that's a tax thing.
Yeah. It's a tax haven.
Yeah.
That's
in some
the
ways
word.
it is. You get property and, you get enough properties
but then
with enough
they're
money.
we got to chop $50 million off of it and you're not getting your money back.
Yeah,
Whereas I would invest in, $1 million homes, not the bajillion dollars.
You're talking about McMansions. I'm talking about something real.
You're talking about this property.
I'm talking about something real.
It's nice looking. It's pretty. It's excessive. It is a bit much.
I would hate to live there.
Well, I want to live there with someone who owns it and manages it.
Yeah,
if you were just a friend and you could stay there, that'd be awesome.
I want an ultra-modern is not the right word. I want a somewhat modern home in one of those really awesome, weird locations where they're yes, here you can see, the snow-capped mountains, but also the beauty of the valley. And it's sunny here 360 days a year.
The estate is so large that if you go the other side, there's the ocean and a beach.
I don't even need it to be that big.
It's it's got everything.
I'm just going to sit on the porch, drink coffee, and read, probably.
This house even comes with a 5-bedroom guest house. You could just use the guest house.
That feels more my speed.
75-foot pool house. That also would be fine to live in. Tennis court, car gallery for 40 cars, 12,000 bottle wine cellar, and gardens galore.
Well, you know what I don't hear? I don't hear a Bluray closet. This house sucks.
That's because you wouldn't use the wine cellar. You just put your Blu-rays in each slot.
This house sucks.
Pass. That's why it hasn't sold.
Hard pass. There's nowhere to put your Blu-rays.
We couldn't even tour this
Do
place.
you have a video game room? All right. I hate it here.
Well, then you're not getting our $195 million.
Next. I'm going to the suburbs, man. That's some people that speak my language.
That's right. Thanks for showing the property, though, to us, Obi.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on Radio U.
Look what I got, Nikki.
What do you got?
Look, here it is.
What do we got? Oh, my goodness. What did you bring to work today?
I brought my Blu-ray player in so I can ship it off.
So there's a saga that goes with this. Obi, not too long ago. It was last year, wasn't it? Or is it older than that?
No, I bought it last year because remember I bought my super cheap 4K TV last year.
Yes, and you bought a Blu-ray player.
A 4K Blu-ray player. That seems to be an important distinction because everybody's like, man, yo, Xbox will play them discs.
It's a 4K one.
Yeah.
And he bought it and it worked fine until you get close to that, that first year where you have your warranty for. And then you said it stopped working or was causing problems.
Yeah, it's not working right. So I've sent it back.
Well, he sent it to them to fix it, which they said they would. Then it comes back and they're like, well, the tray was broken, and that's all they seem to do. Then it's still broken.
They didn't fix nothing.
And so now you have
They don't fix nothing.
Now you have to send it back again, and you're running out of time until your thing's out.
I've got just over a month before the warranty's up, and I already know it's done. Like, at this point, this is just a formality. This is so I can really complain about it later. I'm just earning the right to complain. That's all this is. Because I'm going to send it back.
Okay.
And I really don't think they're going to fix it.
But they'll send it back, and they'll say they worked on it.
I know, and then I'm going to send it right back.
And then it's going to break again, and then you're out of warranty time.
So here's what I love is that I hate this, but I did it. I tagged him on Twitter with a complaint, and their social media team got back to me. And do you know what they did? They got back to me, traded private messages with me, and finally said, "Oh, just send it back for service through your warranty." And I was like, "You're not getting it."
I thought you said they were going to send you a new one.
Well, you know what I did was I messaged them, and I messaged them back. And I'm like, guys, I've done this. They didn't fix it.
Well, it makes it hard when you buy or you have a warranty, and yours is just the standard one. Or if you buy an extra warranty, when you send it back, can't they just replace it? Instead, they don't even fix it. They try to, but they don't. Are you taking all the stickers off from the last time you shipped it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Because I want to make sure that I don't want it showing back up on my door like, look, we thought we already delivered this.
We found your 4K Blu-ray player.
Yeah, so whatever. So here
sorry.
it is. Yep, there it is. Case number, and this is the wrong, that's my last case number. I'm actually going to, and I put here's my printout from when they sent it back. I'm going to put a little note on there.
Hey, you should have printed out every one of your correspondence with them. Just put it all in a little folder.
I'm just going to put in big red ink here. Liars!
And it's not the tray. Don't touch the tray.
Don't fix that freaking tray. Don't you do it.
It's something else in there. Should we pray over the box? No, just do it before it goes.
Lord, we ask that the person that opens this box would first of all would be blessed. That they would have a wonderful day.
And that you'd show them what's wrong in the box with the
for
player.
For some reason, when they open this box, Lord, that they would just be like, I don't know why, but I'm overwhelmed with a desire to find out what's actually wrong instead of just replacing the tray like I normally do.
This time it's not the tray.
And that after that repair takes place, that it would come safely back to me, and that person would be blessed, that LG would be blessed, Lord. Bless everybody, Lord!
Amen.
And especially me, with a working player. And Lord, I was being sarcastic, but accept this prayer as real, and amen. Oh my gosh!
I just want it to be real. It all happened just like that.
I want to see that repair tech open the box and be like, man,
what is this? It's just a good box.
I love this box, and I just don't know what it is. But
they're going to really take care of it this time. They're going to really love on it. Okay? All right. Well, we're going to send the box back for his 4K Blu-ray player.
I got to print the stuff out.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
There's one thing that the last year has taught me. It's that people really, really care about The Office.
Oh, the TV show. I thought you meant like their workplace.
No. Nobody cares about that. Nobody does.
I think it went Friends, and then The Office was second for the most watched on Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's been, always has, and maybe not always will be, though. For Netflix, very popular.
You know what? There's always like the next thing.
No, I mean, because it's just not going to be on there anymore.
Sure. Well, and that's what this article is about. I don't know if it was you or Nick or somebody else that had thrown this my way, but, The Office is going to be on Netflix through next year. So Friends, as I understand it, is leaving Netflix this year no matter what.
Yeah, they paid to extend it for a year.
That's going to the Warner Brothers streaming service. And then The Office has another year on Netflix, and then it's going to go to the NBC Universal streaming service. They announced that they have just locked down a 5-year exclusivity deal for The Office.
Yeah, because, I mean, it is their show.
Do they? Is it though?
I
You know what
believe so, yeah.
Like it aired
Universal
on
has
NBC, but who made it? And I don't know. Nikki's probably right there. So
it goes back to where NBC Universal will be doing a streaming service that will launch next year, and all 9 seasons of The Office will be available for 5 years starting in 2021.
Netflix even tweeted about it. That actually kind of surprises me.
Yeah, they said before it leaves, you can, binge watch it till it's over.
Yeah. So I am I don't know. I'm not as much of a fan as a lot of other people are, but this I will say with something like this. Okay, let's say you absolutely love The Office. I would encourage you. I would just say what I would do is buy it.
Yeah.
Instead of, because why pay? That's kind of my thing is like, I understand like maybe you're going to keep Netflix or whatever, but all these streaming services are popping up. They're like, well, for the next 5 years, you can watch The Office on our streaming service. And it's like, okay, so 5 years, that's 60 months times 10, let's say $10 a month.
Sure.
So I'll pay you $600 across 5 years so that I can watch this. If you keep your eyes open, a lot of shows like The Office, a lot of comedies like that, I see that iTunes and Vudu, they're usually a one-day sale, but they'll sell them for $30 or $40
Pretty cheap.
For the entire show.
Well, you have to, and this is what, and Netflix has to, and then Warner Brothers with Friends, and then NBC Universal when they take The Office over. They're banking on the fact that they think The Office is popular enough to bring you over.
Right.
But what if The Office is popular because we all have Netflix and it just became that show? So will it hold up, though, when you take away from the streaming service we've all had for a bajillion years? So it's just an easy watch on it. Does that mean we'll all follow it where it goes? No, you'll just find another easy watch.
Could be. If it means enough to you. Well, for example, and I know no one will understand what I'm saying.
But say it anyways.
But I bought 30 Rock for $30, the entire show, because I really missed it being on Netflix. And the option was to either subscribe to Hulu or I could just buy the show. And I was like, man, that's $30, done. And I just own 30 Rock, and that's what I did.
So, Michelle, did you read how she's shocked that you aren't a hardcore fan of The Office?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
It's a good
Michelle.
show, and
I'm not saying it's not good.
We liked the original as well, but there's just we don't watch a lot of series on TV anymore.
You know what? I hate when people say this stuff, but I'm that guy. Just go ahead, throw stones. I was a huge fan of the British version of The Office, and I had a hard time
switching over
jumping
to this
into
one.
the American one.
So
there.
The Office is
I said it.
The most watched series on streaming video on demand. So SVOD, 52 billion minutes in 2018.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, there you go. I'm just telling you, why pay for a service when if the only reason you're really jumping over there is that show, you can just buy the show.
But then you need a Blu-ray player.
No. You buy it digitally.
No, I mean because of yours that you're sending back your 4K player.
That's not nice.
It's going back to a couple of minutes ago on the show. It's right there. The box with his player is right next to it.
Don't listen to her.
Okay.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
All right, Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
Apple has announced that they have acquired a self-driving car startup company so that they could invest a little more and further their development into self-driving car tech.
Great.
I
just want my phone, like you could drive your car like a remote control with your phone. You just put your phone in the steering wheel. And then you just drive your car.
Just like Tomorrow Never Dies, that Bond movie where he's driving the car with his phone.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
in the back seat.
That's what we all
everybody's
thought.
like shooting at him and stuff.
Yeah, but
he's
he can still
laying
drive
down
it.
and he's able to drive it using the remote control.
Yeah, you just put the iPad in, you took your phone or whatever. So it would be perfect.
Yeah. It's just a thought. Mm-hmm. If you want to do that. You know what? Here's what I think. I am not old, but I think I'm too old for a self-driving car. And here's why. I think it's one of those things where, every time new technology is introduced, there's an old guard that's like, I ain't doing that. So, when the telephone came around, people were like, this is an outrage. This will keep people from going to each other's houses. We'll never communicate again. And they're maybe kind of right, but
well, in that way.
Right. And so things change, and I just feel like I can't trust that self-driving car. Like the idea that I'm going to get behind the wheel
and be comfortable.
No. Plus, I need something to do. And I'll tell you this, I'm not going to be able to sit there and watch TV while the car drives.
You can take a nap. You could just get in your car. It drives you to work while you're still sleeping.
Yeah, and you wake up and you're like, that's weird. This is what heaven looks like? I'm dead.
Well, that means something didn't work out, and you learned. They've learned.
I don't know. I guess I'm just very, okay. It's like this. I've got a couple of older people in my life that they're just like, I ain't putting no Alexa in my house. The CIA is listening.
And they're serious about that.
Yeah,
that's not a joke.
To me, that's a joke. To them, they're serious about it. And then a few of you, more than a few of you, were like, well, it's true. Fine, whatever. But you'll notice the farther, the younger you get, people are just like, so what? Like, who cares? Just put it in. I don't really care. And I think that I'm going to turn into somebody's grumpy uncle that's like, I ain't gonna have no computer driving my car. I drive it myself.
I think, though, if it was established and it was convenient, you would totally switch over.
Oh, yeah, convenient, sure.
But really the biggest problem will be the price, because we won't want to pay that. And, you'll just need it to be cheaper.
Nikki, I don't have any money. I'm getting a warranty on my stupid Bluray player instead of just buying a new one. I don't have self-driving car money.
No one has that right now. So you're going to have to go younger, and then as they get into their college loan in a couple of years, then build it into that. If that's even a thing.
I'm sure it will be. It's fine.
We'll just need self-driving car loans.
They'll just need, we already have car loans. So.
Well, no, then we're judging everybody because you're the one who's still driving actually a car, and you're not self-driving, and you didn't buy maybe it'll be a kit that you buy to change your car into a self-driving one.
Like in Back to the Future 2 when they were selling hover kits for old cars.
Yes, I guess. Why do you have a movie thing for everything we talk about?
Actually, everybody talks about movies like they're dumb, but guess what? It's all speculative fiction. And so a lot of times when something is quote unquote new, I probably have seen it in a movie.
Already in a movie.
That's where they go. Futurists, engineers, nerds like me.
Morning show hosts.
I'm not doing anything productive, but I'm consuming their content.
This was the worst of the riots, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Oh, do you know the sweet sensation of pulling a good nail off? It's just like,